answers, let's check in on where you, our viewers, are joining us from. So let us read the comments now. I want to shout out, this is Hanover Pre and Prep. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. We have students from Mineral Heights Primary in Maypen, Clarendon, and also Maypen Primary tuning in. We're so happy to have you. But let's hear some comments. What did you think of the story? Okay, I see a little girl saying that she probably would have taken the route of having them dance as well. Yes, I like the idea of them dancing because you could actually hear what was in their pockets. So we kudos to that king. And boys and girls, it's an important lesson about honesty and having integrity. So keep those comments coming. We look forward to hearing what you thought of the story. I'm sure many of you probably heard this story before and you are enjoying the stories that we're going to be sharing for the remainder of the program. All right, let us jump into our second story of the morning. And this second story is going to be read by Mr. Vaughn Davis. He is the manager of JIS Radio. Welcome, Mr. Davis. He is going to take us through the story, The Heights by Great Men.
Morning, everybody. Today, all right. So the motto of Hope House is, "The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight. While their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. The game's teacher is ready, and the boys are on their marks. On your mark, get set," shouts the game's teacher. The boys are off, and they each relay stick to the next boy in their house. It is the meter relay for boys. Great House is in front all the way. The boys and girls of Great House shout, "Run, Great House, run!" Great House comes in first. Hope House comes in last. Once again, the silver cup goes to the champions, Great House. Danny is the captain of Hope House. He's very sad. His house is last again. All the boys and girls of Hope House are going home. Danny stands alone on the field with the flag of Hope House. The flag is blowing in the wind, and he is crying. Danny holds up his head and says the motto of Hope House: "The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night." After saying the motto, Danny carries his flag and puts it in the principal's room. "Don't look so sad, Danny," says the principal. "So long as there is life, there is hope. Never give up trying, my boy." "Yes, sir," says Danny. "I will never give up," Danny says. Danny says goodbye to his principal and shakes his hand. Then Danny leaves for home. At home, he doesn't eat his dinner. He doesn't feel hungry. Why can't we win the silver cup? He asks himself. He goes in and lies down on his bed. One day I know we'll win, he says. The next day, Danny goes to visit his friend. His friend's name is Mr. Tacky. Mr. Tacky lives at Fishtown. He's very old and very wise. All the people of Fishtown love Mr. Tacky. He gives them words of wisdom. "Good morning, Mr. Tacky," says Danny. "Oh, my little friend Danny," says Mr. Tacky. "I'm so happy to see you." But right away, Mr. Tacky sees that Danny is very sad. "So why does my little friend look so sad today?" asks Mr. Tacky. "I'm the captain of Hope House," says Danny, "and my house came in last on games day, Mr. Tacky." The old fisherman looks out to sea. Then he looks down at Danny. "Tell me, Danny, are the boys who won bigger than your boys?" "No," says Danny. "Do they have hands and feet like your boys?" asks Mr. Tacky. "Yes," says Danny. "Well," says Mr. Tacky, "all I can say is, if you all have the same things, then you will have to work twice as hard as they do if you want to win. If they train 1 day, you must train 2 days. If they run 2 times around the field, you must run 4 times around the field. You are their captain, and you must see that they do these things. Danny listens to the wise words of Mr. Taki. He knows what Mr. Taki is saying is right. The boys and girls of Hope House must train more than any other house. They must practice hard so they can win. Yes, Mr. Taki, says Danny. We must work hard. We must remember our motto. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. On Monday, Danny goes to school. He calls the boys and girls of his house together. He tries to make them happy. He tries to give them hope. This is the last time we will come last, says Danny. You said that last time, Captain Danny, says one of the girls in Hope House. Yes, I did say so, replied Danny. But we did not work hard enough to win. We have to train more than Great House does if we are to win. While they play and fool around, we will have to practice. They know that what he's saying is the truth. They must practice. They must train harder than the other house. They must follow their motto. So the boys and girls sit down and speak about how they will train hard so they can win the silver cup. They all say they will practice hard to win on the next games day. They all want to win the silver cup. Every other day, the boys and girls of Hope House run around the field. They run around the field many times. They practice until they're tired, but they know they must work hard if they hope to win. When they feel like giving up hope, Danny, their captain, tells them their motto. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. It is games day again. This is the day that Hope House has worked for. This is also the day when Great House feels that they will win again. The boys and girls of Great House are so sure they will win, they have not been training hard. Both Great House and Hope House are doing well. The last race of the day is the 400-meter relay. Hope House will have to win the 400-meter relay to win the silver cup. Danny will run the last leg of the relay. On your mark, get set, go, shouts the games teacher. The boys are off, and Great House is in front. They are now running to give the last boys the stick. Great House is still in front of everyone. But suddenly, Danny is running past everyone. He's running as fast as lightning. No one can catch him now. The boys and girls of Hope House are shouting, "Run! Run, Hope House! Run! Run, Danny! Run!" Danny comes in first in the 400-meter relay. His house wins the silver cup. Everyone is surprised. The girls and boys of Hope House are very happy. They pick up their captain and carry him down the field. Then Danny goes to get the silver cup from the principal. The principal shakes his hand. "You didn't give up hope, Danny," says the principal. "You have done very well." The boys and girls clap their hands. Then Danny says the motto with the boys and girls of his house. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. The end. Thank you so much for listening.
Now, that was a great story about preparation and hard work. And boys and girls, this story should not be missed on you. Remember, practice makes perfect. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Many schools recently had their own sports day, so I want you to tell me in the comments your favorite part of sports day, and if you participated in any of the races, how long did you train for it? And like Danny and the rest of Hope House, let us keep the motto close and remind ourselves daily. So let's check in on the comments. All right, so someone said they enjoyed the potato sack race and they kept on training up. Everyone was training up to sports day. Okay, this young lady said that I trained with everyone and There was one particular person who kept on beating me during training. And I continued. During training and on sports day, I was able to beat this individual. So the importance there of working hard definitely pays off. And Chantel Samuels, who is from Hanover, she says hard work does pay off. Danny's training, hope and dedication absolutely did pay off. So boys and girls, I want you to remember this motto. I learned this motto actually when I was probably in grade 2, 3, or 4. So way back when. So the heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. And this is something I kept with me all throughout my high school and primary years. So this is something that you should keep with you too, about working hard and putting in the extra effort when it matters. All right? Now, we are so glad that you are enjoying these Jamaican stories written by Jamaican authors and curated by the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, just for you, our students. Before we get into our next story of the morning, let's listen to The Island in the Sea. That's a poem written and recited by JIS's very own Jeremy Lee Nelson, who is a public relations officer at the JIS.
Island in the Sea by Jeremy Lee Nelson. From the shallow into the deep, you always find a way to keep yourself buoyant and held in place, never relenting to the elements as harsh as they are, keeping peace buried beneath the bedrock over your highest peaks and hidden in your valleys, treasures like grains of sand slipping through the hands of time gone on so long you have lost count of all the days your skies grew dark and swallowed the sun like the bitterest pill and set your rivers in spate, sending torrents down the hills like a stampede to the sea. Trees forced to their knees by the violent winds bombarding your shores, left surrounded and alone, sheltering in place, weathering the storm, being washed clean, and then at its end, clouds now rolled away and sky in sight again, the sun shining down. You still stand still, the toughest rock there was or will be. Little island in the sea.
Wow, thank you so much, Jeremy Lee. Can anyone guess in the comments which island the poem was about? If you know the island, place the name in capital letters in the comments, all right? I'll be checking to see if we have any bright sparks who are able to identify the island. It's a dead giveaway if you ask me. It's a beautiful island, I might add. All right, so until I see those comments coming in, we are going to go to our next story. And this story is titled The Troublemaker. Now, this should be interesting. It will be read by writer, producer, presenter in the JIS television department, Ms. Kadia Lloyd-Knight. Let's read.
Juba was always giving trouble in his class. He liked to make fun of the other boys and have the class laugh at them. He also liked to do things to make the class laugh. Because of the trouble that Juba gave in class, the children could not do much work. When the teacher asked who was making the trouble, Juba would be the first to say he was not the one. One of the things that Juba liked to do in class was to play wet chair. Wet chair was when they splashed water on other boys' chair. Then they would rub the water all over it. The boy who came to sit in his chair would not see the water and would sit in it. His pants would get wet and the other boys would laugh at him. They would then tease him and call him wet pants. Juba liked to make the class laugh by doing these things. The teacher did not like these jokes in her class. To her, it was not even a joke. It was troublemaking because the boys would not pay attention to their work. She wanted to find who was the troublemaker. One morning, the teacher thought of a way to catch the troublemaker who was playing wet chair. She knew that every time she was not looking, somebody did something to make the class laugh. So the teacher went on as if she was looking through the window at something. But all this time, she was looking through the corner of her eye. She wanted to see who would do something to make the class laugh. Juba was the first to make a move. He thought the teacher was not looking. So he walked quickly to the front of the class. Then he splashed some water on a boy's chair. This boy was always late for school. After that, he walked quickly to his chair. He was sure that his teacher had not seen him. Just then, the boy who was late for school came into the class. "Good morning, miss," said the boy. "Good morning, Devon," said his teacher. "You are late for class again." "Yes, miss," replied Devon. Juba and the other boys were just getting ready to laugh at Devon, who was going to sit on the wet chair. But to their surprise, this did not happen. "Well, Devon," said the teacher, "you are late. I want you to sit in one of the back chairs. You can change places with Juba." "Come quickly, Juba," said the teacher. "Sit in Devon's chair and let him sit in yours." Now Juba was frightened. He did not know what to do. He knew he had splashed water on Devon's chair, but now he was asked to go sit on it. Juba didn't. "You hear me?" said his teacher. "Move quickly. I would like to continue the class. We have a lot of work to do." "Juba is in trouble," said one little boy to his friend. "He is going to sit in Devon's chair." Some of the boys started to hide their faces and laugh. It was a very big joke to see Juba going to sit in the same water he had splashed on Devon's chair. Juba walked slowly to Devon's chair. He was afraid to sit on it because he felt that the boys would never stop calling him wet pants. But Juba was even more afraid that his teacher would find out about what he had done. He could not tell her that he did not want to sit in Devon's chair. If he did, she would ask him why. And if he told her Devon's chair was wet, she would ask him how he knew about it. Then she would find out that he was the real troublemaker. "Sit quickly," said the teacher. "You are keeping the class from doing their work." The boys put their hands over their mouths to stop from laughing out loud. But Juba sat in the wet chair. They could not keep quiet any longer. "What is so funny?" asked the teacher. She went pretending she did not know what had happened. This time, it was only Juba who was not laughing. The joke was on him. At last, the teacher began her class. "This morning, I'm going to tell you a story," she said. "This story is about a bad man who made a pit for his brother to fall into. He covered up the pit so that his brother could not see it. He wanted his brother to fall into it. But his brother did not fall into the pit. This same bad man who made the pit forgot where it was. Sometime later, he was walking and he fell into it." "Now," said the teacher, "does this story remind you of anything? Does this story make you think of anybody?" The class was very quiet. There was not much troublemaking after that.
Thank you, Miss Knight. Thank you, Miss Knight. But Juba, easy. Now, it seems as though Juba learned his lesson about giving trouble in class. This story reminds me so much of this Jamaican expression that says, if you dig hole, for one, you have to dig two. Basically saying if it is that you're trying to set someone else, prepare that that same misfortune might just happen to you. No. Do you think that Juba deserved what happened to him? And do you have a troublemaker in your class or at your school? You should tell them about this story so they can learn a lesson from this very story. In fact, ensure they are watching this live stream by sending them the link to join on Facebook at Jamaica Information Service or on YouTube at Watch JIS. Now let's check in some of the comments. Everyone seemed to have enjoyed that story. Quite comical that Juba got his pants wet by basically falling in the very same trap he set for someone else. All right, so Chantel Samuel says, there is always a student like Juba in every class. That is true. And Nadine Silvera, she is shouting out Clonmel Primary and Infant School, and she's saying happy Read Across Jamaica Day. Hi, Nadine Silvera. Thank you for those comments. Keep the comments rolling in and keep on shouting out your school. We really want to hear where you are tuning in from. It's all about reading and educating ourselves and taking our minds to adventures and possibilities that we never knew was there, all because we took up a book and we read. Now, if you are just joining us, welcome to the live reading session for Read Across Jamaica Day. If you're watching us on Facebook, remember to like and follow our page. If you are on the JIS YouTube channel, remember to subscribe and be notified whenever we upload new content. And JIS has a lot of content because we are the voice of Jamaica. Now, we are coming to our final story. Our final story this morning is going to be read by our consulting sub-editor at the JIS, Ms. Andrea Hufong, and she will be reading Up on the Housetop. Up on the Housetop. Now I wonder what could be happening on the housetop. Nothing good can happen on housetop, you know. It doesn't sound very safe, but Ms. Hufong will tell us all about it. All right? She will now read.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, children. Let's find out what's up on the housetop. Let's climb up on the housetop, said George. But Auntie told you not to go up there, said Donna in a loud voice. Be quiet, Donna. I wasn't even talking to you, George replied. You are too small to climb up. I was talking to Thomas. Don't you want to come, Thomas? Asked George. Well, said Thomas slowly. Suppose Auntie catches us. Don't tell me you're a baby like Donna, laughed George. I am not a baby, shouted Donna. You are just a boasty boy, and you know what Uncle says? A boasty boy must fall. Hear this foolish girl, laughed George. That is not how the saying goes. It's something about being proud. So if you can't say it right, don't say it at all. Donna really didn't care what George said. She made a funny face at him. Bossy boy will fall, she sang. Bossy boy will fall. Come, Thomas, said George. Don't pay baby Donna any mind. We can see a lot of things from the housetop. We can see over into Mr. John's yard and watch him fix his car. And if we go on top of the veranda, we can even reach the cherries on Miss Mary's tree. Auntie said you weren't to take Miss Mary's cherries without asking first, said Donna. I'm going to tell Auntie and make her beat you. If you tell her, you'll see what I do with you, shouted George. Be quiet, girl. Then he looked at Thomas again. Are you coming? He asked. All right, said Thomas. But how will we get upon the housetop? Oh, that is easy, replied George. We can climb up on the mango tree. A part of it is over the house, and it won't be hard to jump down onto the housetop. Then how will we get down again? Asked Thomas in a weak voice. The same way we got up, answered George. If you don't want to come, don't come. You are just as afraid as Donna. George really didn't want to go up onto the housetop alone. He hoped that he could tease Thomas and make him climb up. Thomas was afraid to go up on the housetop. He was not sure if he could get up, and he knew he would get into trouble if their aunt caught him. But once George had said he was like Donna, Thomas felt he had to go. George climbed quickly up the tree, and soon he was over the house. He let go of the tree and dropped onto the housetop. Thomas climbed very slowly until he was over the house. Then he put down his legs, but he was still holding on, and he would not let go. He was afraid. It looked like a far way down to the housetop. "Let go, man," George called out. "What is wrong with you?" Then the breeze began to blow the tree. The tree shook in the wind. Thomas was so frightened that he let go at last and dropped on the housetop. Thomas and George began to walk around. They looked over into Mr. John's yard, but he was not working on his car, so there was nothing much to see. They went across to the cherry tree, but they found that all the good cherries were too far away. Only green cherries were on the part of tree that was close to the housetop. "Well," said George, "we had better get done before Auntie hears us walking around up here." "Yes," added Thomas, who was glad to hear this. He was not enjoying himself, and the ground really looked very far away. The boys went across the housetop to try to get back on the mango tree. George jumped first, but he found that he could not reach the tree with his hands. It had been easy enough to jump down from it, but he could not jump up to it. "Yes, now," Donna called out. "You can't come down. I told you not to go up there. Auntie is going to pepper your skin for you." George was beginning to feel afraid, but he behaved as if he was brave. "Donna, you are nothing but a baby," he replied. "We can't stay up here forever. We just have to jump down." "Jump down?" said Thomas in a very frightened voice. "Jump down?" shouted Donna. "You must be mad. That is too dangerous. Let me call Auntie because she will know what to do. I knew you shouldn't have gone up there," she added. "You stay right where you are, Miss Know-it-all," shouted George. "I'm coming down." He ran quickly to the side of the housetop and jumped. Before Donna could go find Auntie. Donna shut her eyes because she was sure he would be killed. But when she opened them, George was standing beside her. He was all right and had a big smile on his face. "You see, I told you," he said. "It's not a big thing. It's your turn now, Thomas, so hurry up before somebody comes." "I can't jump down," said Thomas as he stood there trembling. Then the breeze began to blow again. Thomas felt as if he might just fall off the housetop like a kite. So he made up his mind to jump. He shut his eyes and went down. He hit the ground with a loud noise. He did not get up. "Why? Why?" he bawled. Tears were running down his face and he was holding his leg. "He is dead," said Donna in a low voice. "Don't be foolish," said George. "He can't be dead. He has just hurt his foot a little." But he wished that Thomas would stop bawling. Auntie had heard the bawling and came rushing from the house. "What is this?" she cried. "Thomas, what is wrong with you? What did you do to him, George?" Thomas could not speak. He just bawled and bawled. George opened his mouth, but no sound came out. Auntie looked at Thomas's leg. "I think it's broken," she said. "Donna, run and call your uncle. He is next door at Mr. John's. We will have to take Thomas to the doctor." Auntie sat on the ground beside Thomas. He was in so much pain that she could not pay George any mind. Their uncle came right away. He picked up Thomas and their aunt, and he left quickly. After a long time, they heard the car drive up. George wanted to go and hide, but he knew things would be worse for him when he was found. "George," his uncle called out in a loud voice. "As you can see," said their uncle, "Thomas's leg is broken. He will have to rest it for a while. He cannot run up and down. I have heard what happened from Thomas," he went on. "You did a bad thing. You two boys knew that you were not to go up onto the housetop." "I told him Bossy Boy would fall," said Donna. "Well, Donna," said her uncle, "from what I hear, George was a bossy boy, but he did not fall this time. Thomas, who didn't really want to follow George, is the one who is hurt. I hope you have all learned something from this. When you follow others in doing what you know is wrong, you may get into worse trouble than they. Thomas was foolish," their uncle added, and he is paying the price for that with a broken leg. He came here for holidays, and now he is not going to have a good time. Their uncle turned to George. I'm not going to beat you, George, he said. That will be too easy for you. You will stay right in this yard until Thomas gets better. You won't be going anywhere. Do you hear me? George didn't know how he would manage. It would be hard to stay home for such a long time. But he also felt sad about Thomas. Thomas felt even worse. He knew it would be terrible to have to be quiet and stay in one place for all his holidays. It would not be so bad for George. Even if he had to stay in the yard, George could still run up and down and do all kinds of things. The end.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for that story, Miss Hu Feng. I can only imagine the kind of pain that Thomas was in. But can I tell you who was the star girl of this story for me? It was Donna. Because Donna kept on warning Thomas and George not to climb onto the housetop. And I said at the beginning of the story, there is nothing good that can come if you as a little one decide to go on a housetop. And as the Jamaican proverb says, who can't hear will feel. My mother would say that to me all the time. If you can't hear, you're going to feel. No, remember that while it is good to have fun, you should always, always, always be safe. Now, before we go, let's check some of your comments online. I know everyone enjoyed that story as well. So beautifully read by Ms. Hu Feng. All right, Chantel Samuel says, hardiest pitney, peer pressure. That's another important lesson. Don't follow the crowd. Go against the grain. Be brave to stand out and be yourself. And don't follow people, as we love to say here in Jamaica. Checking some other comments. People commenting on the poem before. Ruth Williams said, the beautiful sunshine country of Jamaica, referencing the poem done by Mr. Jeremy Lee Nelson. Beautiful poem, very talented individual here at the JIS. And those are some of our comments. So just like that, our reading journey for today comes to an end. But here's the best part about this. The adventure doesn't have to stop here. Every page you turn brings new ideas, big dreams, and bold possibilities. As we safeguard the future for education, let's keep reading, keep learning, and keep growing. Because the more we read, the more ready we are to face a changing world with confidence and creativity. Remember the lessons learned today about hard work, honesty, and hope. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us as we read stories from the Dr. Bird Reading Stories. Thanks also to our readers, the planning and production team here at the JIS, the contributors to the Dr. Bird Reading Series, and, of course, the Ministry of Education, Youth, Skills and Information. We are just so pleased to have everyone here joining us this morning. We have been inspired, and we hope that we were able to inspire you to take up a book today and start a daily habit of reading. Now, on behalf of the entire team here at the Jamaica Information Service, thank you for celebrating Read Across Jamaica Day with us. We couldn't have done it without you. Until next time, boys and girls, take up that book, read, and it was my pleasure to be your host this morning. I'm Lisa Rowe. Have a great rest of the day. And remember, take up a book and read. Have a great morning.